My name is Noor and this is Simplify Homeschool. So in this video, what you will see is how I solved the problem that my son was facing with long division. I identified that he does not know his times tables well. That's one thing. But that's not the only thing. I also noticed that many a times we don't clarify why we start from the left in case of long division. Because in every other kind of arithmetic problems, whether it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, we go from right to left. We start with the lowest place value and then we go to the highest place value. But only in the case of division we go from the highest place value to the lowest place value. Kids find that confusing, and I don't think we emphasize that much when we are teaching division. So I have a strategy that I follow. Whenever a concept becomes abstract, I find some tangible materials and I do the same thing using tangible materials. If that doesn't work, I go back to a concrete material. I have a detailed video on what do I mean by the strategy and how I do it. You can literally apply this in anything you teach in math. So whenever they have a problem understanding something, maybe they need to have a tangible example or they need to have a tangible experience with it. So use a material or give an example where they can see how this actually physically happens, or go back to a concrete, what did I write? Concrete material. Concrete material. Oh yeah, concentrate too. But yeah. So for him, I used the strategy to explain to him what is happening logically. And 50 divided by 2. Okay? This number is 7 hundredths, 5 tenths and 0 ones have to be divided by 2. That means it has to be divided into 2 equal groups.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm going to take that number right now. In fact, you can help me get that number from there. Get me 700 tiles.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, make the number here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7.
7. What is in the tens, please?
5 tenths.
So get the 5 tens.
1 10, 2 10, 3 10, 4 10, 5 tenths. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Is there anything else that I need to take?
No, because there's 0 ones.
Okay. So we are dividing it by 2. Okay? In division, you begin from the biggest number and you go to the smallest number. In this case, you will begin with the hundreds place, then the tens, then the units. When we are doing addition, we do it the other way around. We always start from the units. We add the units, then we carry it over, we add it, right? Or even when we subtract, we start from the units. If we need more, we borrow from the tens place. If we need some more, we borrow from the hundreds place, right? So all the time we have been used to doing it from the right side to the left. But division is the only time you go from left to right. So that is what is confusing. So always remember that. You're going to take the bigger number and then break it up. If you're not able to break it up, you will move that. Whatever is left over is becoming the remainder. You'll add it to the next group. Again, try to divide it. Whatever is the leftover, the remainder, you're going to combine it with the next group until you have divided everything. And if you still have leftover, that's your final remainder.
Okay.
So I'll show it to you using this and I will simultaneously do it on this paper. Okay?
What is that?
Simultaneously means at the same time. Cutie? Okay. So this is your 700, right? I want to divide it by 2. So let's try to divide it into 2 equal groups.
Mama, just one thing.
So 3.
Mama, I'm putting these two simultaneously.
Yes, that's the meaning of the word. Okay, so 3 and 3. Okay.
3 and 3.
So how many tiles did I successfully divide? 6 tiles, right?
Yeah.
2 times 300 and 300 is how much? 600.
600.
Right? That's what I did. So I got two equal groups of 300. So what did I do? I took 300 two times to make 600. So I took 300 two times to make how much? 600. Because it's in the 100 place, I can say that I put this 600 here. But from the total of 700, if you already successfully divide the 600, what is left? The 100. Now this 100, how will I divide it? I'll have to break it up into what? Tens. So I'm going to move it here. It's like the opposite of what we used to do in the multiplication or addition or subtraction.
Yes.
We used to borrow from the other side, right?
Yes.
Here you're doing the division. So here it came here. So I cannot use it directly, right? If I want to use it with this one, I have to break it up into tens. Can you bring the tens from there, please? Go to the bank and exchange this.
Hello, bank. Oh, okay.
The 100, which has been converted into 10 ones, and this 5. They're together 15. 2 has to be taken how many times to get close to 15? You already know that, right?
No.
2 taken 7 times is 15. But let's imagine the scenario. You have to divide it into 2 equal groups, right? So how much can you put? I can put so much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
I will have this left over. So 2 has to be taken 7 times to divide this. So 2 has to be taken 7 times to divide this. And how much have you divided successfully? 14. 1 was left over because this you couldn't divide. So this will move to the unit side.
Yeah.
Obviously I cannot keep the units like this. So
10.
exchange it.
1, 2.
So since you're moving to the unit side, you're going to bring the next number down. So every time you move to the next level, you're going to bring the next number down. So now you're going to bring the next number down. So what do you have here?
10.
The 10. If 10 has to be divided into 2 equal groups, how much?
5 and 5.
5 and 5, right? That means 2 times 5 is nothing but 10.
10.
So I have successfully divided 10 here.
Then
So what is left?
0.
0. Is there any remainder left? Nothing. So what is your answer?
375 is the quotient and the 0 is the remainder.
Now look at this.
Now
Can you
this-
see the quotient and the remainder?
Yeah, because 300, 300,
Mm-hmm.
7 tens,
Mm-hmm.
370, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones,
375. You see?
Plus 375 will be
750.
950.
That's what we are doing in long division. Logically, this is what is happening. We can't use these all the time, right? We need some kind of formula to do it. So this helps us. But this is what is really happening. There's this boy who has $750. He has been asked by his parents that you have to split your money with your brother. So now, how much will each one of them get? You're going to do this.
Yeah.
Let's split our money. Let's divide the 100 bills first. Then let's divide the 10 bills. And then let's divide the ones.
Yeah.
And see how much each one gets. Each one gets 375. Right? You got it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Your number is 750. Okay, this is the hundreds place, tens place, units place, right? 700, 5 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 tens, and 0 ones. There's nothing in here. Okay, you have to divide it equally. Divide by 2. That means you're going to divide it into 2 equal groups. That's what you're doing at the end of the day, right? So we always start with the highest place value, which is the hundreds. Okay, we start from the left. So first we will try to divide this. Now since our answer is also going to go in the same order, hundreds, tens and units, whatever is our answer, okay, we will divide it only by hundreds at this point. You understand what I'm saying? I cannot, so if I have to divide it in only hundreds, then I will probably get 3 in each group, okay, but I cannot do more than that. If I have to do more than that, which is to break this up, this would no longer be 100. I am essentially breaking it up into tens. I cannot do it by itself. So if I'm just doing it by hundreds, I can only say that 2 times 300, and 300 is all I can do. So 2 times 300 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 600, and that's all I'm able to divide at this point. But I have something left over, which is this 100, right? Now, in order to divide this, I can only move it to the tens, because this has to be broken up into tens to be able to divide it. So I'm going to put it to the next place value, which is the tens. Okay, so I have to put it here. Now to put it here, I have to put it with the 5. So because at every step you are addressing one place value. At the next step, you're going to address the next place value. At the next iteration, you're going to address the next place value. This place value, then this place value, then this place value. At each step, what you're doing is one place value is being split. If it cannot be divided anymore, whatever is left, the remainder is going to be put along with the next place value. Then from there, again attempt the same way. If it's still left over, any remainder is going to be moved to the next place value. This is equal to 10 tenths. So I am going to quickly exchange it. So now I have exchanged it with 10. Here the hundreds have been divided, okay, which is in 3, 3, which is this one, 300 each. Then I have successfully divided the 600 out of it, and then the remaining 100 I put it with the 50 that was here, which is the next place value, the tens, the 5 tens. I added the 10 tens with it. So now we have 15 tenths over here. Now we need to attempt to divide the 15 tenths. Now since we are dividing it, the tenths, the answer is also going to go in the tens place. That's obvious, right? If this one's answer is in the hundreds place because it's in hundreds. Here your answer is going to be in the tens place because it's the tens. Can I divide this? Let's try. If I want to divide it by 2, I will have to make groups of 7. 7 tens taken 2 times is nothing but 14 tens. Here you have 14 tens. But how much did you initially have? 15 tens. So that means 1 is left over. You understand? So how much is in each group? 7 tenths. How much is in each group of hundreds? 3 hundredths. Now I have the units. I have the unit. This has to go with the units. Now if it has to go to the units, that means I have to break this up. Okay, and let me also bring down this unit. So what does it become? 10 units. Let me exchange this with units so that I have the units, because I cannot put a 10 here. This is the units place. So I'm going to put 10 beads over here. All right. These are the 10 beads. The 10 units. 10 units equally divided in 2 groups is 5 each. 5 each. So I take out the 10. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, I wish this was not this crowded, but nevertheless. 2 times 5 is 10. So the remainder is 0. Nothing is left. So your answer is 375. 5 units. You see? Okay, let's do another problem. Okay, 121. Divide by 5. You know how you see the first number, the first digit, and you say, oh, but 1 is less than 5. I cannot divide it. So then what do? You move on to the next place value and let this, you see them together, and then you see if you can divide them. What are you really doing there? Now look at this. Can I divide this into 5 equal pieces using the 100 tiles? No, there's only one 100 tile. How will I divide it into 5 equal groups at the hundredths place? I cannot divide it at the hundredths place. So what will I do? Tell me.
Break it up into tens.
You will move it to the tens side and break it up into tens. So let's do that. So I have moved on to the tens place. Do I have anything at the hundredths place in my answer? No. Moved on to the tens place. Now I have to divide it into 5 equal groups, right? If I divide it into 5 equal groups, how much do I get in each group?
2.
2 tens. So in my answer, this is a 10.
Oh.
You understand? See, yesterday when we were doing the 3-digit number by 2, the answer was also 3-digit, but here it's going to be 2-digit. You know why? Did you understand what I'm trying to say? Because right now what is there? 2 tens. 2 tens taken 5 times is how much? 10 tens. 5 twos are 10. What do we have left over?
2.
2 tens.
Cool.
Now I cannot do anything here, so I have to combine it with the next one, which is 1 unit, and this is how much? 21. Like this. I will have to convert it into ones. So let's do that.
21.
Oops. 20. Okay. Now 21 has to be divided into how many equal groups?
5.
5 equal groups.
Oh, yeah.
So wish I had a rug of some kind.
If you have one right there.
Yeah. But
Why
let's
do you
see.
angle it?
Let's see. So 5 equal groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have 1 left over. 5 times, what is this number? 4
times 4
is nothing but
20.
20. Isn't it?
Yeah.
5 times 4 is
20.
20. 5 times 4 is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. It's 20. Look. So how much have you successfully divided? 20 of them.
20 of them.
But 1 is still left over. So that's your remainder.
1.
1 is your remainder, right? So what's in your answer? When you divide it by 5, each group gets
24.
24. So
Oh,
24 is your
quotient.
answer, which is your quotient, and 1 is your remainder, which is here.
Cool.
You got it? This is what is really happening. So here's another material that I used with my son as a teaching aid. This is a stamp game, and it's it's used in Montessori schools, and basically this is one of the less bulky ways to do it in a tangible way. So here is the next problem. 362 divided by 4. So
I already have 2 hands.
360, okay, you already put that.
2.
Let me know when you're ready.
62. Yeah.
362. Now you have to divide it by 4. So what do you have to do?
So can I make this into groups of 4?
Yeah, you're going to start with the first one, which is at the hundredths place,
Yeah.
and you will try to make it into 4 equal groups.
Yeah. But I cannot do that.
Exactly. So you will take it, you will move it to the next place value and put the whole number together and then try to divide it. So you're going to move these things over here,
But
which
I
means
cannot keep them whole.
okay.
So I have to make 10, 10, 10. Oh, yeah, I don't know if it's going to fit in the mat. But I'll do that.
Make them into straight lines
Yeah.
because they won't fit. So you exchange the hundreds with the tens. So the 300 is here, 100, 200, 300, and this is the 60 which was already there. Now try to divide this into 4 equal groups.
Yeah, 9.
9 taken 4 times is 36 in the tables.
9, 18, 27, 36. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is 4 taken 9 times,
Yeah.
or 9 tens taken 4 times is 36. No remainder.
No.
Nothing is left over.
Mm.
So you get the remainder 0 at this point. But now we have to go to the next one, which is 2. So I'm bringing down the 2. 4 taken how many times?
4 taken like 0 times. Because
0
I
times.
only know.
So look, 4 taken 0 times. I cannot divide it. So 4 taken 0 times is going to be, so at the units place you have a 0. And this is your remainder. You understand?
Yeah.
Because we had to divide it, we couldn't divide it. We took 4 0 times to make a 0 over here. And this became your remainder. 4 taken 0 times is 0. So 2 remains. Each of these steps, each of the digits have to be divided. If you're unable to divide something, you take the number 0 times. Right?
Yeah.
Here you can see clearly. The answer itself is a 90 because it was a 9 tenths. So the
90,
quotient is,
180.
what is the quotient?
460.
You can clearly see, right? This is the quotient.
Okay.
90.
90,
90.
180, 370,
No, 270.
270, 360. Then
So
2
360 and 2 is left over. So the quotient is 90.
90 and the remainder is
So you can use the stamp game too to solve it, right? It's not as bulky.
yeah.
You got it? So again, with my son's case, he was struggling with the long division because it was an algorithm which was telling him what to do to get the answer, but he didn't know why is he doing that. So he resisted it. He didn't, I mean, some kids are very logical. So in order to make sense of the algorithm, I had to go back a step and I tried the stamp game. The stamp game here. That worked, but not as well as this one. So after attempting this, I said, you know what? I have the concrete materials. Let me just, address it in the best way possible. And I will just go back to the concrete material. And I gave him a couple of examples. And then after that, I put them side by side like I did in the video now, where I was doing the long division on one side and the actual dividing of the number on the other side, so that it's clear to him where did these steps come from, what is the reason for those steps. Once that became clear, everything became clear, and now he's fine.